So let me see Bitcoin here. Hold on, let me turn on my alerts. So for Bitcoin, we can see um, this is starting to look like a deviation a little bit, similar to what we had like up here. Um, sorry, here, where we like deviate above the range, like retested to 97. We're doing like the same thing here. So like shorts were valid. I did attempt one here after the sweep were like that high. And if you're underwriting short again, I was literally waiting for 2025 low. But we front ran that. So that's a bit annoying, but it's all right. We could still get it. Like this is still arguably like, you know, this is a deviation, right? Where we could retest like the range lows and like hit it later on. We'll see. But as for right now, um, according to like auction market theory, like once you've accepted back into the range, like you're basically almost guaranteed to go into the lows to the value area low, um, which I've got it drawn out here. Um, hold on, let me remove this one. It's here. Value area low of this range would be at 65.2. So what I was thinking is maybe take like a short entry, like close to the this VAH here. Maybe front run the current range a little bit. So like I would say I might set limits for this. I don't know if we get filled, but I would probably put stops like at 70.9. And then I would probably, thing is, we have equal lows, right? So I'd probably take a trim around 64.9, and then like leave the rest running to like 63K 2024 POC. I think that'd be a nice setup. We'll see. Um, Kind of similar to like back here where we accepted back into the range. It wasn't a clean retest, but like at the same time, like the value area high here was I'm guessing a little bit higher at the time, right? So like as price action develops, the value area high would change obviously. So yeah, Ranad's sitting here. Could we like go back up and like hit this later on? For sure we can, right? Um, the area we rejected from, it's like this similar rejection here. So this like anchored VWAP from all-time highs at 126K. It's seen pretty clean rejections. It's been respected quite a lot. So that was a clean rejection yesterday, and we'll see like if we get the retest of Valero high, because this is looking like acceptance, right? Um, Also on the weekly, like this is looking like an SFP over like these highs here into this fair value gap. I was um I was hoping for a little bit higher, but that's fine. If it wants to make a new low, I'm sure we can catch an entry there. Um, as for like the low time frame, not much to update here. Could you long here? For sure you could, but I mean, from what I saw on the TPO, we've created like two single prints, so it's like a trending day. So I wouldn't. I'd attempt to like a long around 66.9 ish, maybe like a sweep of this little low here. I think that would be clean. But I'd only take that like, as like a hedge long to a short because this looks pretty cooked in my opinion. Structure's like now bearish as well, like H1. So if we also look at the USD dominance chart on the daily, like this is looking like exactly like up here, a deviation, and we're gonna go back to the other side, right? So I think we'll see. We're kind of like at the mid range right now, USD dominance. So if Bulls wants to step up, like it has to be soon. Otherwise, this more just looks like a failed breakout here on Bitcoin. They still pump up, and most alts to me look like they were like making high like a what's it called, like a free drive structure, right? Like a lot of alts look pretty similar in terms of structure. I think if I'm gonna be honest, like it all depends on Bitcoin. If we just obliterate right through 68, like it's pretty safe to say that most alts will probably, like if Bitcoin, because they were pretty weak considering how strong Bitcoin had bounced. Um, like Solana was not like as strong, for example. But so if Bitcoin like decides to break here like H4 structure once it loses 68, I'd say most alts look pretty cooked. So we would probably I'd probably look for like short entries later. Like the weekly close will tell us a lot. Um, this was a gold long I was planning to take. I didn't take it though because it was invalid, right? I was looking for a H4 sweep at this low here, like into this 618, but we got a close below there. So that trade now is invalid. I would say we should have kept this limit here. That would have been so clean. But in terms of gold, I don't want to short it because I feel like gold is a lot more. I don't know. I don't want to short it. Not here, at least. Not here. Maybe on the sweep of this high. We'll see. I've got alerts set for there as well. Um, but like if we go to retest 50 point, sorry, 5.4k, I think that'd be a nice clean short for gold. A bit unrelated to crypto, but I mean, yeah, kind of sometimes I got a very inversely correlated. Not all the time, but yeah. So we have this also, something to mention is at 63.7, a naked point of control. We haven't retested that yet. We have one up here as well, which I don't know. Since we're in a bear market, I'd say naked point like a naked point of controls like below would be like much more high probability to get tagged out than like npox high, right? But that's not to say that npox high won't get tagged, right? I believe there was one in this area as well. I can't remember. I'll have to check, but yeah. Um, Let me look at Sol real quick. Hold on, I've got a different chart. My high time frame chart here. If we get like, I still think at some point, maybe down the line, we'll get like a bigger move on alts. Um, we'll see. I still think if Bitcoin's ranging right, like we just had a failed breakout, could be printing the same pattern, but if shorts for whatever reason get caught off guard in the future, I'll be there's quite a few POIs I'm thinking about higher, and Solana would be one of them. Like this like value area low here from like 2024, I'd probably look to short that if we do get it. So quite nice POIs here for a long, but I at the same time I wouldn't really. I don't want to buy spot just yet. I said I would buy spot here, and I did, but if I'm being honest, I already closed the position. So for spot, I'll tell you where I buy spot. I would say 20. I mean, I don't think Bilal's gonna like that very much. But I mean, listen, if Bitcoin goes to like $40, we've seen it before, right? I think 25 would be a great spot um, to buy so. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be at least a 10x next cycle. Back to 200 at minimum. That's at minimum. Maybe not 250. I mean, I would personally sell like at 200, but I mean that's just me. So let me look at some other shitcoins as well. BNB as well. It was in this channel here, which, well, this is an old long idea that I had. This is now invalid. Now it's looking like it's, ooh. Yeah, I reckon BNB goes a lot lower. I'd say it's safe to say that at least, thing is RR isn't that great here. I would have said like on a retest of the, like that channel would have been a bit better. Let me see. By the way, if you got any alts in chat, just pop it. Um, Ethereum, yeah. Let me check Ethereum. Mm-hmm. Yeah. ETH I would probably short. I don't see ETH bouncing that hard, so I'll go on the H1. Um, if we get like a lower high, I would probably around 2024 levels. I'd probably short that. Try to target like, I'd say clean level would be like down here, but like that might be a little bit too greedy. Thing is, we could bounce like in between, not just that, like not just in Ethereum, but on Bitcoin. Like we could hit like 64, 65, and then front run 63 bounce, and then tag it later. So you could like have a TP a little bit early if you're a short, and then later on, like short, um, have like a POI on a bounce, and then re-short. I think that'd be a better play. So for example, Sol comes down here, sweeps that, has a bounce, right? Instead of like round tripping, because you had like a wider TP, you can at least take some like profits here, and then re-add on a bounce, right? Because you I forgot what the name of the concept is, but say you're up 4R on a trade, right? And your initial idea was to close the trade at 5.7R. Um, you're basically no longer risking 1R. So say the trade is here at 4R. You're no longer risking 1R. It's now like you're risking like 5R for one for, well, it would be 4.7 for 5.7. Yeah. So you be like, say price was here, you're in a short, you'd be risking 5.7R for 1R, basically 1R difference, because you'd risk round tripping all of that, right? Unless you trail your stop loss. But I don't necessarily like trailing my stop loss, because for me it didn't work most of the time. So it's like, 1 hour difference, like is gonna make the end of the world. So I'll speak about that in the future as well. So like evolving, I think it's called like, can't remember what the word was, but the diminishing RRA of not closing, right? It's very at least you would trail your stops, right? If you're up 4R. So yeah, I'll actually make a post on that. It's an interesting topic. Um, but yeah, on Ethereum, I'm sure biased. I don't see necessarily. H4 structure is bearish. Actually, no. H4 structure is still bullish, but H1 structure is bearish. So if you wanted to play with a trend, you'd look for another bounce to get short into, right? By the time H4 structure's broken, you've already kind of missed a pretty good chunk of the move. So yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure I haven't drawn a volume profile on this specific chart, but if I draw one quick, yeah, we're at POC now. So like value area high was like up here, so it was consolidating. So shorts were valid. Hold on, let me turn that on. There we go. Yeah, it made sense, right? Like we lost it here on the H4. It retested. This one was slightly cleaner than others. So yeah, I'll wait to see what JC's typing. Hey bro, I checked this on Twitter. Bitcoin doing the same movement as in 2022. Saying that now after touching 67. Bitcoin going to 70, 70 to 4 under hell. What do you think? Why is the screen so like stretched? Maybe. I mean, for 4 under hell, but like, don't you want lower bids as well? So either way, hold on. I think I know what piece of price action you're on about. Like you're talking about hit like. So this is this right here, June 2022. What's up, fam? Sorry for joining. What's up, man? How you doing? Crypto pumps. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, brother? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, well, that would be. Listen, it wouldn't be the end of the world, right? Like we've already fell down. We would like we're already in the hell, right? We've we're down 52%. I don't think if we go, if I mean, I don't know about you, man, but I kind of want 49, like sub 49, eventually to buy some Bitcoin. Um, like I'd probably buy some in this blue box and then some down here if we get it, like around the 786. Could we like could we print the same pattern as up here? Like, well, the thing is, it looks slightly different. I'm assuming you're speaking about this. I don't know. I need to zoom in, but fractal wise, let me see. We can just draw a fractal. Um, hold on. Bars pattern. I'm assuming you're. Well, or are you talking about this? Hold on. We can just do this, right? Um, one sec. Hold on. Let me remove this for a second. So that was all time high, right? How do I? I mean, it's not exactly this. I wouldn't say the same. It's hard, man. It definitely is different, but yeah, some like pieces of like um, price action are definitely going to be very similar. In terms of structure, it's going to be similar, right? Market psychology hasn't necessarily changed since 2021, right? Mm. Like I bet up here, um, people were saying the bull market's back. Same thing here. Same thing. Basically, every local high, same thing. No one was buying it. Like from what I saw on the timeline, I didn't see anyone. Like I don't think anyone was bullish, like sub 60. But everyone was bullish I mean, here's the thing, right? Say we go back to the lows and and we sweep 60K, and that ends up being like a weekly SFP. That could just be like enough fuel to send us to like 78, and then the amount of people at that lower high, that would be like incredibly bullish. I mean, if it happens, that'd be very clean. But we'll see. I think for me, I'll just stick to the plan and like play this as a range. So I'll go back to the other chart. If we get a retest here, I'll look to I'll look to short. So I'll TP some at VAR and then leave some running. But yeah, um, and in the near future, if we do get a move up to like 78, that'd be nice for a swing short. 83 might be a little bit too greedy. Might be too greedy. But I mean, it happened here, right? Slow grind structure up into like the anchored VWAP. Maybe. We'll see. Yeah, no problem, man. What other alts are you guys looking at? I'm not really. I've just been paying attention to like Bitcoin, Solana hype. Um, haven't really looked at ZEC or I'm not trying to scalp these. I'm just looking at Bitcoin and so like just the majors really. Most alts look like shit. So yeah, I'm trying to see if there's like then like maybe we could I was hoping around the time that my stream would start we would see like a small bounce and I would take the trade live with you guys like a live short. I probably would have put my invalidation probably would have been like above these highs here. I mean I wouldn't say that's a really tight stop. Like above those highs there, you know, because this sort of reminds me of if we zoom back a little bit. Um, no. It was before this. Yeah, here. So like we had slow grind structure down, right? Like highs were being protected. Um, and I remember, and I'm not gonna make the same mistake this time, right? So I was always waiting for like lower time frame sweeps of highs to get short, but it rarely happened, right? So and it makes sense. Like on a downtrend, um, like highs stay protected, right? So this time, what I'll do is I'll be aggressive. If most days, like this is the first day after, sorry, this is like the second day after like we've got this massive bullish, like little rally here, that impulsive move. So we'll see. Like whatever bounces, for now, since we're like now accepting under like EMAs, I think it's safe to say that longs aren't not that you can't long scalp, but swing longs from like 68K. I don't know. To me, they're not safe, but we'll see. I need. I'll know once the weekly closes in. The weekly closes below six like 70, basically. I'll know like okay, well I've got a bearish bias, you know. I already have one, but it would be a lot worse if this closes the weekly below 70, which it looks like it's gonna do. So in terms of like long areas, let's see. I would maybe look to long here, scalp long. Like potentially we might see. Mm, Actually, no, I don't like that. I think it's too risky. I think that happens on Saturday, and I wouldn't want to long on Saturday. If we get this early next week at this naked point of control, similar setup down here, but I close that too early. Probably this. Like the risk to reward here is very good, and I would expect to have like a reaction at the MPOC or at least 2024 POC. And my target would be probably like around the POC of this range. So maybe I could have like a tighter stop. I mean, we'd probably most likely go. I don't think we would sweep in one. But this wick here, I don't think we would sweep it in one. If we do, then that's pretty brutal. But I think that's clean. It's a tight setup, but the risk to reward is good, and it's like, I mean, it is a range extremity play, right? Um, I'll pop that in chat. You could like also take like an Ethereum long, the equivalent to like whatever area it's at. Not always, but sometimes when like auto outperforming, I will fractionalize my R. So on one setup, like RS 0.5, and then for example on a Bitcoin long, and then on an ETH long RS 0.5 as well. Just so I'm not, if I'm wrong, I don't lose like 3R in a day. I think that makes more sense. Also, post that short idea. We'll see if we get it because now we're under H1 EMA 200. So I don't know, but it would like I'd ideally want an entry close to 2024 VAH. However, like the actual VAH of this range is at 70k, but that could get front ran. I remember last time we got front ran, so I wouldn't want to be too greedy. So I'll pop this in chat as well. Something like that. I'll alert it, but yeah. What's up, Malik? How you doing, brother? We were just covering Bitcoin scenarios, man. Um, yeah, good, bro, good. We were covering Bitcoin scenarios. So, like Malik, what I was saying, like we've accepted back into the range. Ooh, I mean, this move just looks like a deviation now. So, like a continuation play, to like VAL or like 24 PSC. I'm looking at that right now. Um, Other question, bro. What do you think about liquidations like Hydro Capital, trading different or Agra? I've only heard of Agra trade. Is that what you're talking about? Agra like reading like order flow data and liquidation data. But I've never heard of a Hydro Capital there or trading different. I use Agra, CoinGlass, and Kiyotaka. Please don't say that I'm long. No, no. I mean, you, well, scalp longs. That's fine, man. No, you're good. I'm just saying, like you know, I'm not saying we have to go down from here. Yes, about the information they provided. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, in my personal opinion, I think CoinGlass has everything you need. But Hydro Capital, I'll check it out. But yeah, you like the information is helpful sometimes. I look at the on CoinClass. I can actually probably link it, but I just look at the heat map to tell me where like the liquidations are. So on this move, we had like I can't remember the number, but it was around the 69k level. We had a lot of liquidations there from longs that had longed on Wednesday. So Yeah, I heard they are good. No worries, I'll check. Yeah, man. I'm sure they're good. I'm sure they're good. AgroTrade is good. Um, Bilal has actually a template for aggro if you want to ask him. Um, it's clean. It's clean. Let me see. Oh yeah, if you guys want to drop any alts in the chat, I'll take a look at them as well. Um, because my alt watch list is pretty cooked. It's literally BNB lit, Zek and Pump. Used to be Pippin on there as well, but if we look at Pippin, it literally went to zero. Hold on, I spelled it wrong. Alright. It went to zero. I would never long a chart like this. Um, but at the same time, I like, it's already down so much. So I wouldn't short it either. Like down here, I don't know. I feel like this was a short squeeze here. Like that pump there. A lot of people were shorting that. So that might have been a nicer entry. Perfect. Like it tagged H1EMA 200 like twice. Gave a nice entry. Just like your invalidation would have been where, right? It's quite wide. Maybe maybe like above this H4 candle, like where that gap was created. But I mean that's like I probably wouldn't have. I had to have my alert set to even get a setup like that. Um, sorry, it's High Block Capital. If someone is interested, check it out. I'll check it out later for sure. I always like to look at those. Um, I like CoinGloss because it's like, um, sorry, my brother just sent me a text. Um, yeah, no, I think yeah, the best like sites you can look at like liquidation flow would be like CoinGlass, or I've seen some people use. I believe Coin Theory it's called Coin Theory. That one's good too. I haven't used it though, but it looks good. So yeah, let's see. It's like a Hyperliquid actually as well. Mm-mm-mm. Structure on this is just turned bearish here, like H4. So it could be a good long here though, like H4 200 EMA. I can see like there is some interest, but I don't know. With M30 structure being like that weak, it's just not. I would rather wait for like a lower time frame structure break rather than just like long in here. From how Bitcoin's looking, I don't know. There was a time where this was like very, like relatively strong, like compared to the whole market. But yeah, I'm not sure about the websites, but if there is some good reference from anyone, maybe it is worth it. Yeah, I think. Hold on. Yeah, Bilal's got a clean Aga setup. I just can't find it, but I'll link it. I can link it to you later if you want. We printing on Hypershort, yeah. Which what was the entry? I'm assuming it was somewhere on. Was it yesterday the entry, right? So 30.71. I'll check Tau for sure. 30.71. Oh yeah, nice. Was it here you took it, or was it yesterday you took it? You guys shorted like around the H1 200 EMA. Ah, Rufian. Let me check this out. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that was clean. Yeah, I like the way Rufian trades too. Let me check Tau. Tau. Mm-mm-mm. Oh yeah, this setup got blasted. I remember that. Like, you could argue this is a channel. And like, it's not super clean, but more so the channel was like here, right? It started from there. And now it's like starting to break. Let me see. But let me pull the fibs real quick. In terms of like, it is like it does look better than most alts, Tau. But I mean, oh, it wasn't really. Thing is, we had an impulse here, right? On what was it, 14th of Feb, and what Bitcoin made up ended up making like a high, and this kind of just slow grinded into a low high. So, but like local structure, it looks potentially good for a scalp long. Maybe if we take out these lows, like SFP it, maybe it could be either this low or that low, but it depends. You'd want to look for a good reaction first. I'm long Tau 178.53. 178.53. Ah, here? Okay. Yeah. Like, this is an area of relief, for sure. Like, you could argue, let me go on the H4 real quick. I mean, I don't know how good of a range this is, but, well, I would say I'll draw it from there. So, you kind of are, you already tapped VAL, but I mean, this is a pretty wide. I'm not sure how clean you would call that range, right? But VAL got tapped. So, but where's your stop loss? 169 stop loss. You're okay. I thought it was a lot closer than that. I think you're fine. But I mean, just be careful. Like if this starts looking like bad under 175. Um, we'll see. You might have a completely different like setup from like what I would have in mind. But yeah, in terms of like just range trading, yeah, it makes sense to long here. I hope you want like long in Tau up here. That would have been bad. Sui and XRP holding price and forming a new low on RSI. I haven't checked RSI in a while, but it was decent when I was using it. I liked it. I just don't check it as much anymore. Sui. Last time I like traded Sui was like around like the Pokemon rumors. Like April 2025. No, it was like actually like May. And then Sui was trading at like $4 back then. So let's see. Um, bro, Sui looks bad. Sui looks bad. Um, yeah. I mean that candle. I don't know. I wouldn't long here, but again, you will have like completely different reasons, right? You said RSI, so maybe if you see like RSI reset, that'd be like a good indication for a bounce. Oh, you're not long on Sui. Okay, okay, okay. So I would say like on Sui, you'd want a clean structure break. So like for example, uh, when price is trending, right? You'd want like something like that, right? So let me delete that. Here it happened, right? You got a clean structure break under like this little these highs here. Like this was like you could argue, you know, your PO3 setup, right? Accumulation on the H1. We got a wick under, and then massive expansion. Obviously, this is hindsight, right? But similar thing here. If you see something like that, right? You'd want like an entry close to around here, like on a pullback. Unless the move is like impulsive, well then you'd probably want to be more aggressive with your entry. So for me, longs here on Sui, I don't know. I wouldn't long here. It didn't even make a high. At least send it to like the 618, and then look for like bullish structure there, like an SFP or breaking structure, one of those two. I would say around 0.887. Or actually, wait, let me look. 786. Mm, to be fair, like you have demand here. If you go back to the lows or close to the lows, I mean, it could sweep it again. That's the thing. But like maybe your stop loss would be under the 886 for if it does sweep again. Um, your targets would be most likely like value area high, I would say. So something like that. So like similarly to like, you know, the previous deviations, you'd be looking for another one, right? If it does hit that, um, entry would be probably at the 786 inside the that demand there. That would be clean. So, but yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll end it off here. Like I said, the only thing I'm like confident on setup wise is would be this, because losing the value area high is always bearish. After an impulsive move, accepting back another range, you can at least expect value area lower, right? So that would be at 65.2. So yeah, but anyways, thanks guys for coming. I know there wasn't much to talk about, but I mean, we'll have more of an idea what a Bitcoin will do after we get the weekly close. So yeah, thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.